Tell the truth.
Welcome to the Information Man Show.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
What's up, everybody? Peace. Peace, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the program, baby. Welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you for waiting patiently as you have. I appreciate everybody coming over. Not going to make this a super long stream tonight, but I just want to make some points. And it goes all the way back to the stream that I did about Kyle Rittenhouse and the fact that he got justice according to the law in Wisconsin for self-defense. And before I begin the presentation tonight, let me go ahead and say what's up to a few folks in the chat room. We got some good folks over here. Like we got Beverly Palmers is in the house. And we got Sister Henderson is in the house. Thank you for coming over. George Frazier is in the house. We got R.Y. in the house here. King Wage is in the building. That brother is, love that brother. Good stuff over there. Of course, we've got Water Sniper. He's been around the YouTube streets for some time. What's up to you, brother? Glad to have you here. Thank you for coming on over. Again, let me give us some more shouts out to people in the hair. We got my man, Brother Keith. What's up, Johnson? Peace to you, Brother Keith. We've got Sister Wellness with Fugo. Mama is in the house. Chat, definitely a nice clap for her. We got my man, One Man Band. One Man Band is in the house. Make sure y'all check out his channel. Brother's doing it real fine over there. Let me go back up here, and we've got Sister Stanford, who's watching us in Facebook. Yeah, we're live on Facebook and Twitch, not Snatch, Twitch. Little boo-boo on my part. Okay, so we're live on those particular platforms right now, multi-streaming through these different platforms. And Sister Stanford was here a week ago. She lives in Brunswick, and she came up on the channel when we were talking about the situation around Ahmaud Arbery, and the family did get justice in this situation. And she kind of explained to us a little bit about the community because she lives in that community. So let's give her a clap. Thank you for coming over tonight and joining us. We got Brother Sir in the house. What's going on? He's saying greetings to everybody. Let me see who else we got here. If I might have missed anybody, Carolina came in earlier. We got Sister Murray, who's in the house. Good mod in there. Everybody who's everybody that's modding the channel, you all are everybody is fantastic. I appreciate all of you for this late night stream. We got Patora, because I kept saying Patella, which was wrong. Slip of the tongue. I said that last time when I went live, but it's Patora Afro who's in the house. Peace to her. Much love and respect. Let me see if I missed anybody up here. So that's who we got in the chat room for right now. Oh, we've got Brother Rob is in the house. Thank you. Kiki05 is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Brother Rob is a educator, a teacher in Chi-Town, Chicago. Glad he came over. Let me see who else we got. Frida Gipsy. If I'm not saying that correct, I'll put your name on the board here so everybody can see that there. We got Von 11 that's in the house here, and there you are. Thank you for coming on over. And we got Von 11 that's in the house too as well. Really appreciate that. So let me get at it. I don't want to keep everybody up late because I know it's late for people all across the country. For some folks who don't live in the West Coast like myself. We got Sister Taylor who's come in the house. Thank you for being here, sister. And then let's get at it and talk about Sister Joy. It's definitely a joy to have you over here tonight, sister. She's saying hello to everyone and much love. So definitely a joy to have you over here, everybody over here tonight. Let me get at this right now. Let's talk about this right now. I'm going to begin. Let's just do this right here for the purpose of it all. So, for example, here is Kyle Rittenhouse once more. We all know that he was crying like a baby on the stand, and it worked for him like a charm because he was able to get in the good graces of that judge and that jury who said that he was defending himself after he shot three people, 2 died and 1 survived, that it was Kyle defending himself against people trying to harm him when he took a whipping into a dangerous, hostile environment that night. Okay, he was able to get the victory, and he cried like a baby on the stands, and it definitely worked for him. It worked in his favor. Now, this sister right here, this happened in 2018, ladies and gentlemen, where this sister was being used and abused. She was sex trafficked. She had an evil individual that was abusing her, raping her, all sorts of horrible, and I do mean horrible things. She was being abused by this individual over a period of time. Kyle Rittenhouse went into a knowingly dangerous situation with a weapon that can definitely take your life. Why this sister was the victim of sexual exploitation and sexual rape. I shouldn't use that word. She was sexually, you know how YouTube is, folks. She was sexually abused by this individual right here. And what this sister did is she got to a point where she couldn't take the abuse and the trafficking that this piece of garbage here, Vaughn, I think was his name, was engaging in and inflicting upon her. And there was evidence that she was screaming out for help, but no help came for this sister whatsoever. And she took matters into her own hands, just like Kyle Rittenhouse took matters into his hands that night, but he brought a whipping ready to go. This sister was being abused over a long period of time. Here she is in court. They put her in jail. I've got video for you. I'm going to show you some things tonight that's definitely going to be disturbing to your soul, but bear with me. Let me put this up right here. I want to put this up right here, actually, right next to me. You may not be able to read it. Come close to your screen, but if not, it doesn't matter. This was a bit of a Twitter post that someone posted, but I'm going to read this here. Chrystul Kizer, 17 years old. Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 years old, right? He was 17 years old, right? 17-year-old black girl in Wisconsin, and it happened in Kenosha, where Kyle Rittenhouse did his deed and got away with it under the law in Kenosha. 17-year-old black girl in Wisconsin who killed the man raping and trafficking her, convicted, and case is now in the appeal. So she was convicted and the case is now in appeal. Now this is what happened. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17 years old, white boy in Wisconsin who took a AR-15 to a protest and killed two, was acquitted. It's a damn shame, but that's what happened under the laws there in that jurisdiction. Even though there's also statutes in their law that says that a minor should not be in the possession of a weapon without parental guidance. They used a straw man on Kyle. Kyle saying, "Oh, I gave money to my buddy and he purchased a gun. My mama didn't drive me over there." None of that kind of stuff happened. But he went into a knowingly hostile situation. This young lady was being abused over a long period of time. And it's about telling the truth tonight. That's what it's about.
Tell the truth.
This young lady was being abused over a long period of time. She was crying out for help, but nobody heard her cries. Here's another picture of her looking a little bit more, the hair is done. That's the despicable individual that trafficked her. I'm going to repeat this again. He trafficked her. And he raped her. I pause for effect.
Tell the truth.
This is what he did to her. Now, let me follow this up with a video that you all need to see. Now, remember, and what's going on, Patty D, BX Beefing, S. Thomas is in the house, Bonnie Rose, Carolina had made some statements earlier in the chat room before I went live, where she gave some other details. Let people know about that in the chat room. This man did a house of horrors on her. Let me read what Caroline is saying here. She said, then there's the fact that the woman do lots of time for killing their rape. Yes, it is true that when women lash out at their perpetrators, it goes unheard in the judicial system, in the legal system. A lot of women, There are women that have killed their perpetrators. They've killed boyfriends that have been abusing them, husbands that have been abusing them, men that have trafficked them, just like this guy here. And they do time in jail. That is facts, whether you like it or not. That is facts. That is hardcore, nothing but hardcore facts. Whether you like it or not, that is the truth.
Tell the truth.
I'm going to say it again. Most women, when they are being abused in this way, and they take what people would say the law into their own hands, because Kyle Rittenhouse took the law into his hands when he felt that his life was in danger. Well, her life was in danger over a long period of time, and she cried out for help. This is why I don't want to hear nobody on YouTube bumping their big fat gums talking about, well, that was the law and Kyle got off because of the law. Well, are the laws going to work in favor for Sister Chrystul? They're already saying that this is going to appeals court. They had her in jail with shackles in the whole 9 yard. You should see when I show you the footage. If those of you weren't aware of this case in Wisconsin, Kenosha, where Kyle Rittenhouse did his deed, if you weren't aware of this young lady, put a 1 in the chat room. Say it loud. If you were aware of this young lady and her case going back to 2018, put a 2 in the chat room. Thunderously. I mean, put it in there. April Dent, how you doing? Good to have you over here. If you are familiar with her case, I need you to put a 1 in the chat room. If you're not familiar, what am I doing here? If you're familiar with her case, put a 1 in the chat room. If you're not familiar with the case, put a 2 in the chat room. That makes more sense. If you're not familiar, I'm getting mixed up here. Sorry about that. So let's see here. George Fraser's familiar with the case. CCNTV, peace to you, brother, is not familiar with the case. A lot of folks look like S. Thomas wasn't familiar with the case. Vaughn 11 was not familiar with the case. Sister Stanford, who's listening from Facebook right now, says that's those white racist good old boys down. Yeah, that's what you got going on down there. And then I got a super chat, and I want to thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Ty, I thank you for that super chat saying supporting the chat. Thanks for highlighting the stories such as these that often are go unheard. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
Really appreciate that. Looks like a lot of people are not aware of this case. We've got Nappy Yankee coming in the house. Peace to you. Make sure y'all check out his channel. Susan is in the house saying, at some point when you're tired, everything you know, and try to reach out to the people, Echo Calm, they are there to help you take matters into your own hands whatever way you can. What I'm telling you, what's going on, Sister Aries? What I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is that everybody who had a disposition about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, you had, should I say, you had Negroes and everybody in YouTube talking about, why y'all worried about that case? He shot 3 white folks, you big fat dummy. No. We were analyzing the case to see how would a white boy who they made look like a little boy, how would he get away with what he did? And then a lot of us were saying, if it was a black young male, would the young black male get away with it? Well, shit, we ain't got to wait for a young black male, because under their laws, this sister right here her case is a case of self-defense. Let me just go ahead and do this. And we got my man, brother Chief X in the house. Clap to that brother. Clap to that brother. Check out his channel. Give him love. Give him love. Give him love. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Check out each other's channels. Thank you, Chief X, for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate that. Appreciate the things that you do. Ty, I appreciate you too. Everybody in the chat room, I thank you. I'm going to give you a clap again, because you're taking the time out of your life to bless a brother tonight with your presence. Now, what I want to do, this is the man again who did these despicable deeds to this young lady. Why is it that the self-defense didn't work in her case right away? Now, there's appeals court. Luckily for this sister, they were able to raise money to bail her out of jail at some point in time.
Tell the truth.
But what I'm going to do now is show you the video. It speaks for itself. It needs to be seen. This is a nice clip. No, it's not nice, because she was in jail. But here is a clip to give you some more perspective. And I want you to clearly look at how she's dressed. When you could hear the chains and the belly chain. They put her in belly chains. Shit, wrong. They put her in belly chains, like she was going to be that dangerous to them in custody. Did anybody see a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse when he had to report to court in Kenosha, where she had to report to, after he shot 3 people, killed 2? Did they put Kyle Rittenhouse in belly chains? Did you ever see a video of him going to court in his arraignment before he got his bail money from the off-right and the conservative right and the Boogaloo Boys and the Proud Boys and any other kind of boys? Did you ever see a picture or video of Kyle Rittenhouse in his jail jumpsuit on arraignment, or see him in arraignment on the news in bellies after he killed 2 people that he said was self-defense? And then at one point in time, they didn't even know where Kyle was at, because he wasn't reporting. He didn't report like he was supposed to, but they put her in belly chains. I'm going to let you see this, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to be seen, and here we go. This is the Information Man Show.
I believe the $1 million cash fine is appropriate.
12 News was there in court with $1 million bail set for Chrystul Kizer. The Milwaukee teen is charged with shooting, killing, and setting Randall Volar on fire at his Kenosha home last June. She was just 17 at the time.
And what do you think that people need to know about why he died?
The case now making national headlines, and in a jailhouse interview with the Washington Post, Kizer now alleges she killed Volar because he used her for sex trafficking. Supporters of Kizer say it was self-defense.
She had been trying to get out of the whatever arrangement that they had. And he was threatening to kill her.
In court last week, her attorney, a public defender, argued the murder falls under state law called affirmative defense, which acquits sex trafficking victims of certain crimes. But a judge disagreed, saying it only applies to prostitution or child trafficking cases.
You believe that she went there with a plan to kill Mr. Volar?
That's right.
From the start, Kenosha County District Attorney Mike Gravely says he's been pressured to drop all charges, but argues Volar's murder was premeditated and says she bragged about it after on social media.
And then during the course of the evening, she texts multiple people talking about how she is planning to do it, that she has Googled, and that it's going to create a splatter.
Volar's house here has since been torn down, but the district attorney says the day they found his body was the same day they were about to charge him with child sex crimes.
I mean, it's ridiculous that the police knew what was going on with Volar and allowed it to continue to.
If somebody commits crimes against you, even horrible crimes, that you aren't allowed to go and kill them in response.
Listening to Information Magic. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel.
That's Volar. That's the piece of garbage that was abusing this young lady over a period of time, sex trafficking her, and he raped her, all sorts of horrible things that he did to this young lady. And you notice the day that she did what she did to taking his life, they were already going to raid his house and arrest him. Isn't that ironic that he did these horrible things and they were about to arrest him on the day in question that she did what she had to do to take his life? You heard on the video that this is a young lady that was crying out for help, but oftentimes young ladies like this, when they cry out for help, sometimes don't get the help that they need. And before you start to judge and say, oh, she planned to take his life, put yourself in in her shoes. What would you do? You're trying to scream out for help. Nobody's helping you. You are a minor. Can she use this for self-defense? That's the question I want everybody to ponder in that chat room. Will she be able to use self-defense in this situation? And what I want to do is I want to show you something real quick. And here we go. Sister Chrystul was held in jail until June 2020 when several groups raised $400,000 for her bail. Her attorneys are invoking a state law known as the affirmative defense law. Affirmative defense. Affirmative defense. This young lady, Chrystul, I'm going to put her picture back up here while I read these to you. The young lady, Chrystul Kizer, may be able to use self-defense according to Kenosha News, in the state Supreme Court is now reviewing that decision. This is right now, ladies and gentlemen. This particular self-defense argument has never been used before in Wisconsin. Now, they said that, well, she bragged on social media about what she was going to do. Yet in the trial with Kyle Rittenhouse, the prosecution wasn't able to bring in eyewitnesses and people, individuals such as those two young black males that were out there that night that said that Kyle pulled a gun on them. And of course, they've been trying to do a disclaimer on the fact that Kyle had subscribed to certain, Proud Boys and Proud Boy type stuff. And it was reported by other people out there that said that Kyle was looking to harm someone that night. Now, of course, in the court case, they wouldn't allow the prosecution to bring in lots of other evidence. They wouldn't even allow, the judge wouldn't allow them to bring in a more amplified photos of the ground, on the ground, what was happening, because he was too innate to understand technology, and that he's a dinosaur and we're going forward in the future where there's all kind of technology that can enhance photographs and videos to give you a better sense of what was really happening. Kyle Rittenhouse was given the benefit of the doubt because I believe, and I said this before, having the right complexion for the protection, first of all, gives you one advantage, especially over black men and black women in this case, in the court of law, when you are now looking at facing life in prison. And you're saying, it was self-defense for me. So the question is, for everybody in the chat room, will this sister get the same justice that Kyle got? Will the judge cozy up to her? As I told you, she came in court. You all saw her in court with the belly chains on. Let me show you another picture. Right there, she's not looking what you would say in her most best look as a female. They've got her in that smock, and I'll tell you what that is because I deal with guys all the time wearing these sort of things. And let me come over here and let you get a little bit of a detail. What you see there is called a suicide smock. When people become suicidal, have suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, they become hopeless, they become depressed and withdrawn, and they may say, I feel suicidal, or they may attempt to engage in suicidal behavior, such as cutting their arms, scratching their arms, head banging, what have you. They will put you in what she has on right now is a suicide smock. You notice she's in chains, and you notice in that video they had her walking around and you could hear the chains moving around. They had her in those bellies. Well, sort of, not a complete, this is sort of a belly, but not a complete belly. They got her under full custody in this picture. And then you saw in that video. I'm going to say it again, that anybody in the chat room see Kyle Rittenhouse show up for his arraignment in this fashion, meaning in some jumpsuit, in some jailhouse jumpsuit. If he did, and you saw that, put a 2 in the chat room. If you never saw Kyle Rittenhouse make an appearance in court that was put out there for the public to see on the news, what a jumpsuit on and a bellies on or some handcuffs on, put a 1 if you see. Put a 2 if you seen Kyle like that. Put a 1 if you did not see him like that. I have a point to my madness here. Let me take this down. This is the first. This particular self-defense argument has never been used before in Wisconsin. According to the news. Sister Chrystul is charged with 5 felonies, including first-degree murder, intentional homicide, for killing Randall Volar III, that piece of crap. I'm biased to this. It's any man that does that to a young lady is a sick puppy. Her attorney says she lashed out after years and years and years of abuse. And that's usually what happens. Years and years of abuse and a person just snaps. Rittenhouse verdict highlighted the case of... Now check this out, folks. The Rittenhouse verdict highlights the case of Chrystul Kizer, who is awaiting trial on charges of killing her alleged sex trafficker 3 years ago when she was 17. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, they said, was 17. He was a minor. Is she going to get the benefit of the doubt like he did? Now, check this out. Wisconsin self-defense law led to Kyle Rittenhouse acquittal on homicide charges, sparking protests across the state and the country. Now advocates are calling for justice for a child who was sex trafficked. Isn't what's good for the goose good for the yonder?
Tell the truth.
What are your thoughts? I'm going to put something back here. I think this needs to be back up here again. So she's got that suicide smock on. That's what that is, ladies and gentlemen. Usually they'll put you in something like that as a precaution, or either that you are engaging in suicidal thoughts and saying that you're going to do something to yourself. So there's another picture of her. Very horrible to see a young lady in a situation like this. And like I said, they were able to bail her out with $400,000 bond, but she still is appealing this in their upper courts. So there's a chance that she could go to jail for life for taking the life of an individual who perpetrated sexual crimes upon her over a number of years. They're saying over a number of years. I need y'all to share the video in your social media, all of your social media, if you could. So it looks like we got a lot of twos in there. Let's see what my man Chief X is talking about. He says, one, I just got familiar from your advisement yesterday. I had to research it last night. Okay. Come with whatever you got to put on the table, brother Chief X. Let us know. We got why you ask, because a lot of those old men are doing this to our young queens. They will protect each other. They'll kill Epstein because he knew too much. Interesting. We got let's talk about it with Anita. Thank you for coming over, sister. She says she needs the best. She needs the best attorney. But I think in the case of this young lady, she's probably dealing with a court-appointed lawyer. I don't think and this is the thing too. You notice, where is the Benjamin Crumps of the world, huh? Where's the Benjamin Crumps, huh? Where they at? Huh? Where is the Al Slickback Sharpton? Where's the Action Network? Where's all these people at to assist this young lady in proper counsel? She's got people out there that's helping, but the usual suspects who always show up like Benjamin Bubble Crump, nowhere to be heard. Sheldon just blessed me with a super chat tonight saying, great coverage, information, man. Tell the truth. Yeah, we got to tell the truth. Tell it always. So everybody, I want you to collectively think to yourself, when I did that stream about Kyle Rittenhouse, and any stream that you've seen black people do about Kyle Rittenhouse, where you had other black people criticize and say, why are you talking? Well, he shot 3 guys that were despicable. I'm not talking about the character of those 3 individuals. I'm talking about, like a lot of us are, in terms of, does the law work in the same fashion for black people when we use self-defense compared to when white people use self-defense? And in this case, he used an actual gun. If she was being abused for a number of years and got to a point where she couldn't take it anymore, and she cried out for help and nobody helped her, then can you either blame her or be surprised
Tell the truth.
that she took matters into her own hands? Whether you say, hey, that's wrong, shouldn't have did that. I'm going to say it again. Many times when women, girls are victims of sexual abuse, in this case, oftentimes their cries go unheard. And oftentimes when they take matters into their own hands, especially if you're black, I mean, let's tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
The justice system doesn't always turn in your favor. Get the troll out of here immediately. And I do mean immediately. We've got no time for trolls tonight. No energy for them. We got Mac Will 729 saying no money involved, just justice. We live in a white supremacist society.
Tell the truth.
I agree with that. We got the brother right here. We got a dude thought. What's going on, dude thought? He says the law works for black people. Spontaneity. It depends on the city and the state. Well, I do agree that each state has different set of laws that can favor you. But overall, when black people engage in behavior that white people can engage in and go to court for and sometimes win, we don't get the same type of justice equally dished out to us as oftentimes as dished out to them. That's just a fact. There can't be debated. Ain't no debate to be had about that. That's just a fact. So her name is Chrystul Kizer. And I think here is right here. You can see it on the screen. Carolina wrote it. It's on the thumbnail, too, at the bottom of in red. You can see that. But her name is Chrystul. I've been saying her name most of the night. Thank you, though, for asking, because you want to make sure that you're on the same page with everybody and we're all on the same page. This whole situation is it is a damn shame. We got Sweet D who says, I don't care what state you're in. We get treated differently. Exactly. Thank you for that. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
That is the truth. It doesn't matter what state you're in, although each state does have different laws in which you could take advantage of those laws. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, he was able to take advantage of the laws of Wisconsin. But I would like to see in this situation with this young lady, because her case is in appeals, will she be able to use the issue of self-defense? Because they're saying that they've never, in this particular case, in this situation, in her case, they're claiming that it's never been done before in the state of Wisconsin. That already sounds like the odds are going to be against her. That already sounds like it's going to be against her, because now they're creating precedents, right? Will they allow a black female or a black male, anyone, to set precedents like that? They allowed Kyle Rittenhouse under their laws to walk right out the damn courtroom. And I know some people out there are going to say, hey, this is not the same. You can't compare this. There's no comparison and all. The point is, she's using self-defense in the same place he did. So we got to follow this case. See, there's so much stuff going on, folks. There is so much going on out there that we can't. And I'm going to be doing this. This is Wednesday night. I'm going to start doing these late night live streams for a short amount of time to break a few stories that maybe I hadn't talked about yet, or maybe it's under the radar in the news and no one's really talking about it. I'm going to get into, today is the second day of the Potter case. That officer who shot, oh man. Let me read something to you real quick. There's an article I was looking at, what to know about the trial of Ken Potter, the ex-officer who killed Daunte Wright. Remember, she shot Daunte Wright with a real gun and claimed that she thought in her mind that she was going for a taser gun. I think today was the second day of the trial. See how all this stuff is going on below the radar and nobody is really talking about it? So that's the other trial that's going on that nobody's really talking about. Already the second day today. Then you got the messy Jesse Smollett. Oh my God. That trial is, I think, in its second day in Chicago. I think it's in Chicago. I think I'm correct about that. I'm going to be looking at that as well at some point in time. But I'm going to drop a podcast, maybe on the second channel, an audio a podcast about this whole situation with the Potter situation, because that's going on. Keep your ears to what's going on, because this one has fallen way under the radar. And you notice because we've been so focused on, the Kyle Rittenhouse case that came up. And then we got an incredible verdict in the judgment in the favor of Ahmaud Arbery's family. Now we have another case with that cop, Kim Potter, or the ex-police officer who killed Daunte Wright. Don't let that go beneath your radar. Matter of fact, I'm going to definitely make sure it doesn't, because I'm going to definitely do a stream or a podcast or put some clips in the community tab about that. If you have not if you want to follow me on all my social media, and let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to drop a link in the chat room where you can find me on all social media. It's a one and all link. I'll drop that 2 times in there. That one and all link will get you to all the social medias that I'm actually on. Let me drop another link in there again. That link will get you to all the other social medias and all the other sites that you can find me on if you would like to follow me. I've got Clubhouse. I actually would like to start getting people on Clubhouse, like the mods and some of the folks in the chat room that follow the channel, that support the channel. I would like to start having some private conversations with the mods and people that follow the channel in a Clubhouse discussion. Or even got Twitter has a thing called Spaces. But I think Clubhouse is really cool because you can make those conversations, you can make it private. But I would love to really have people follow me on Clubhouse. It's very easy. It's at Information Man Show, just like the name of the channel. I would like to see folks go over there and follow me on the Clubhouse and Twitter, which is and I would like to start having some conversations in that Clubhouse space. And Clubhouse is now on Android phone and iPhone. So go ahead and if you got a chance, it's in that link that I just sent. Clubhouse is a banging platform, Nappy Yankee. So I want everybody to follow me on Clubhouse. And then when you follow me on Clubhouse, hit the bell just like you do on YouTube. So every time I try to create a discussion over there, you get the notification. So come over to Clubhouse, hit in that link that I just dropped in there. You'll find my Clubhouse I need everybody to follow me on the Clubhouse because I want to be able to have discussions, private discussions with me and the mods on my channel. And I want to be able to have not only discussions with the mods, but everybody who follows me. And we would like to have that discussion where we want to have a private discussion amongst ourselves, with just ourselves in a Clubhouse fashion. So let's do that, folks. Go and click that link, that tree link that I put in there. And on that link, you'll scroll down. You'll see my podcast links, all of that. Make sure you hit me on the Clubhouse. Follow. It's Information Man Show over there. Follow me. Make sure you hit the bell notification over there so that when I decide to do a discussion for all of us, you can come on over and we can join in and have some really after party conversations about some really serious issues. So I hope you all can do that. I want to give you a clap. We got my man. Let's see. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. So make sure you hit that link. And that link is also in the description of my video. You can also find that link on my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, which is Information Man, you go in there, Information Man on Twitter or at Clinton06 on Twitter, you will find that link on my Twitter. You click that link, you stroll down, you see all the social media platforms that I'm on. And you find the Clubhouse link, which is Information Man Show. Go over and do that because I want to start having conversations on the Clubhouse. I want to be able to say, let's have some back chat. And I don't want to use Clubhouse for people to vent at each other. No. It's not going to be that kind of party. I want Clubhouse to be a place where we can continue these discussions off of YouTube, where people can speak their mind freely and also give me ideas for streams you'd like to see me do, anything, work with each other, collaborate, what have you. So I want content creators to come over. I want mods to come over, people to come over, and we're going to have constructive conversation, not nonsense. Not going to be because we know that on Clubhouse you can have some pretty crazy stuff going on over there, but you could also have constructive conversations too. So let's try to do that. Hit that link. Follow me over on Clubhouse immediately if you can, when you get a chance, at Information Man Show on Clubhouse. And I thank you all again. Miss Mahogany, thank you for coming over, sister. I see you there. Let me see who else I have here. We got Miss Latoya Thompson. How you doing, sister? Thank you. She's a mod in the chat room as well. Victoriously is in the house. Victoriously. Thank you, sister, for coming over. Joy as well. Let me see. Joy says, Susan, it's about what you believe in supporting what is real and justifiable. Right. It is about what you believe in. We got Mo in the house. What's going on, brother? We got the House of X Entertainment here blessing us with their presence. Check them out. They got a very fun channel. You'll have a good time over there, and what have you. Because sometimes, over on my channel, I talk about a lot of serious issues, right? But sometimes we need a relief from all the serious stuff, and we need to be able to go to channels where we can laugh a little bit more. It's good for our mental health, where we can have a good time, laugh, hear music, and just, sometimes you need that balance on YouTube. So make sure you follow channels that give you information like I do, but channels that can make you laugh and have a good time. I'm not necessarily one of those channels that's going to we can have a great time over here, but I'm not, that type of channel overall. So make sure you have balance in your YouTube life and of course, your personal life as well. So thank you again. We got Sister Mo who's in the house saying blessings, everyone. Thank you, sister. Let me give you a clap. It's not bad for a Wednesday night. 72 people. I think we got about 72 people in here, 67 people, 63 people watching. We got a few people watching in Twitch, a few people out there in Facebook watching. It's not bad for a Wednesday night at this time of the night when most people are getting ready to unwind for work the next day and they're tired and what have you. You know, I usually go live on the weekends, and I do have a really good show coming up for you this upcoming weekend if all goes well. I've been talking. Remember I told you that the case of Tyrese Gibson, the young black man who his terrible things has happened to him. The family wants justice. I made contact with the father. I'm hoping to get the father, the family on with me this Sunday. It's still a very sensitive situation. This happened, I think, in Jacksonville, Texas, where this took place. This young man, Tyrese Gibson, he went missing. The family didn't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, his body went missing. He was going out with friends. All of a sudden, they can't find his body. You know, it's like it's another one of those. It's crazy. If you have a chance, check out that new documentary on HBO, Black People Missing. Check out that documentary. It's going to be an eye opener. A lot of things are happening to us and nobody seems to give a damn in mainstream media, but we've got to make it known what's happening to us. Just like this young lady, what happened to her was a damn shame. We got my man DOD who says, stop hanging around those people. DOD, you know, he's giving advice. You know, you got to watch who company you keep. You got to watch the people that you are around. That is facts. Let's go over here. We got brother Greg Harris saying we all need to speak with one voice on critical issues when using platforms. Yes, because if not, what the hell are you using these platforms for? Right. And let me just give a little advice here. You know, there's a lot of drama that goes on YouTube. To me, the best way to keep yourself out of drama is to stick to what you're on YouTube for. That is to provide content. See, I spend most of my time focusing on my content. And when you do that, instead of focusing on other individuals, it can actually keep you out of a lot of drama when you focus on your content and not the petty stuff that leads to really bad things happening. And I just try to stay out of that because it doesn't help anyone. And I wish that we as a people could stop using social media to sometimes attack each other. But it's just kind of funny to me how we have a lot of smoke for one another. We tend to have more smoke, if I can say, for each other than we do for our real enemies. Right? We got all that smoke.
Tell the truth.
For each other than we do for our real enemies. And here we have a young lady who was raped and was sex trafficked by one of these mayonnaise men who would be what we would call, as I said just a minute ago, the enemy. That's what we should be reporting and fighting about against the system. We should be trying to stop these type of monsters from taking advantage. And I don't know this young lady's family situation. I don't know what, you know, you can ask the question, where was her father? Where was her daddy? What was her household situation like? What led to this situation where she was being sex trafficked by this monster? Did she come from a family structure that was dysfunctional? Was there drugs involved in this situation? That is another question. But while we fight each other and we will give each other the smoke all that we can handle.
Tell the truth.
We have predators like this again who will harm and take advantage of one of our own and do irreparable damage emotionally. She will be damaged forever, ever in a day. She will never recover from this situation. What's going on, Mr. 1950? Peace to you, brother. Clap to you. We got the Creed men is in the house. Thank you for being here. She will never recover from this. And I'm going to say it again. Why is it always one of our own? And I'm going to say it again. I personally think that this happens, and I think Mr. 1950 can appreciate what I'm about to say. I think that our young ladies will run astray like this and get involved with the wrong kind of individuals that can lead to them being prostituted, abused, when there's a lack of a strong male, black male structure in the household. When there is no male structure in a young lady's upbringing, just as the same with young black males, it can lead to damaging consequences. I say damaging consequences, where one can find themselves in a situation that she finds herself in. Where was the father? Where was the mother? Oh, yeah, it's not going to just be on the man, but where was the mother as well as the father in the life of this young lady? Were they on drugs? Were both the fathers on drugs? Was the mother drugged out? Was the father drugged out? Was the mother in the picture? Was the father in the picture? Where's the uncles? Where's the grandparents? Where was her family? That's another question. I'm going to say this again. The suicide smock that you see her wearing, I have dealt with guys so many times like this. They put her in that. They put you in that cold cell in a suicide smock in a cell that is concrete to keep you. They strip you of your clothes, of your dignity, of your clothes, because the goal is to keep you from not using your blues, your shirt, your pants, anything that you can fashion. I've seen this, folks. I've seen guys do this. I have had to talk guys out of taking their life. I could go to the JOB any day of the week and could have had a day in which I've had to talk many guys out of taking their life. And they use their pants, their whatever, socks, whatever, and roll it into a noose to take their life. And therefore, we had to employ the suicide smock, in which we take all belongings away from an individual that can be used as an instrument to take their life. Angelica, how you doing, sister? Peace to you. I had to say what I just said. I had to say that. I just had to, because I can't help but wonder what was the family or lack of family structure in this young lady's life that led to this. And I have to admit that when a young lady does not have strong male father, proper influence in her life, in a dysfunctional family structure with a dysfunctional mother or both parents, or someone's missing, it can potentially lead to this if that young lady is not grounded and what a man really is. And sometimes people, men and women, will engage and get involved in drug use, sex, stuff like that, because they're in a lot of pain, deep-seated, beneath the surface, deep psychosis, pain, deep, bring it down to the onion-peeled layers, pain, in which we inflict more pain on ourselves by getting involved in destructive lifestyle, sex, alcohol, drugs, what have you, hypersexuality, what have you. And then all it takes is a predator like this individual to come in and take advantage of that dysfunction, because you're crying out, you're in pain, you've been abused, you lack any structure, because this young lady, you can make a good inference, that an educated guess that she might have come out of a dysfunctional family, potentially. But I've seen situations where you've had young ladies and young men in our communities that have come out of functioning families and can still find themselves in this situation, where they're being abused sexually, not only by a family member, but someone outside of the family, like a perpetrator like this. These things can definitely really happen. How do you all feel about it? What I'm going to do for only a little while is I'm going to drop a link in the chat room and let a few people come up if they want to speak to this for a little while, because I didn't want to make these Wednesday night streams that I may start doing. I don't want to make them these 2 and 3 hour streams. I'm already at 1 hour and 6 minutes right now with this one, sort of using that same format that I use on the second channel. And I gotta go live or load up some material over there too. But let me drop that in the chat room right now and entertain anyone's thoughts about this for a short period of time. And let me do this here. We took a vote tonight. I put out a survey tonight. I said, will she get the same justice as Kyle Rittenhouse, self-defense? So far, out of those of you who were willing to vote on this, so far, 80% say no and 20% say yes. Once again, 20% of you say she will, yes, and 80% of you who voted say no. So if you have not voted in the poll that I put up tonight, please go ahead and try your hand at that poll and let us know what your thoughts are. So let me play a little music for a minute and see if somebody wants to come up and join me for a moment and give their thoughts about what the presentation that I have just provided tonight. And if nobody comes up, I understand, it's no problem. It's late for people, but I'm not going to keep the panel's not going to be an all night panel. It's not going to be for hours, just for a little while, just to get some of your thoughts. And while I'm waiting, a little bit of music for your pleasure. All right. All right, we got Sister Murray up here. A little bit of sound there.
Yeah, I had to move because I was watching TV, so I moved into a more quiet spot. Actually, I just wanted to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because when your broadcast came on, I was running around taking care of some things.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that her bail was $400,000?
Let me show you.
Yeah,
Let
that
me
had
put
to
this
be
up here.
raised by.
They might have raised it, but this is what it was in 2020. So just keep that in mind. We're in 2021, of course. This is according to reports that her in jail. She was held in jail until 2020. So basically, this happened in 2018. She was held in jail into the year 2020. So she's already been in there she was in there for at least, what is that, 2 years, year and a half, something like that. When several groups, I don't know who the several groups are at the hand, several groups raised $400,000 for her bail. Her attorneys are evoking a state law known as the affirmative defense, law. So that's what happened, my sister. If you have any other questions, and I'm going to look something up while you're here. So if you have anything else you want to add to that, I hope I was able to clarify.
Because I'm still kind of confused because she's a minor, and and they set the bail that high, or it was just. Let
me say this. It goes to my point tonight is that we are treated different in this injustice system in comparison to other people, in this case, our whiter counterparts.
Oh, that's a whole fact. That's a fact.
So that's why she had the help of people to raise that money. But the point that you bring up, which I'm glad you brought it up, sister, is that it goes to the fact that there's a different justice system for us, whether it be financially, in the way the law is divvied out to us. And I want to look something up right now that I need to read to everybody. So there it is right there. Let me do something real quick. I want to cut and paste something. I want to get more information about this affirmative law. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up, sister? I mean, what is your thoughts about it? Did you hear about this case?
Not until you brought it up tonight, honestly. And what's unfortunate, like when we had the discussion about the Arbery case, there's so many cases out there that we don't know about. Right. I did not know anything about this minor and about what happened to her. And what's crazy, you have a multitude of issues that are going on here that it's disgusting, because it also came out that this guy was a sex trafficker. Right. And that he abused her. Now, when the different complexions say the same thing about their wives being abused by their husbands, so they shoot them, it's some kind of syndrome or whatever, or some type of form of PTSD. You're talking about a minor that went through this, and also not to steer too far off the point. Not to steer too far off the point. But you do have families that are so, mommy and daddy, that are so caught up in fantasy world that they don't pay attention to their kids. Now, when these situations happen to us, we're just violent individuals, and we're violent basically when we come out of the womb. Right. But then when the counterparts are dealing with rape, well, I can't say that word, sexual assault, beatings, and what have you not, it's always a syndrome, and either they're found not guilty or they get less time than what they deserve.
Right. Let me read. I was just about to read this definition for the affirmative defense. It says here, this is by one just sent. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for putting this in the chat room. Thank you. Got to give you a clap for that. It says in the definition, this is a defense in which the defendant introduces evidence which if found to be credible, will negate criminal liability or civil liability even if it is proven that the defendant, and I got the rest of it right here, even if it's proven that the defendant committed the alleged act, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read this to you again. The definition of affirmative defense, which is what her lawyers will be using for her in her appeal. This is going to appeal, Sister Murray. This is a defense in which the defendant introduces evidence which, if found to be credible, will negate criminal liability or civil liability, even if it is proven that the defendant committed the alleged act. So this is the point. I wish I had Attorney Esquire here, the empowered Esquire, could break it down even better. But
I do too.
The bottom line, and I can always speed dial her anytime to get her on. The bottom line is that if this young lady can prove that this man, this monster, was doing these horrible things to her over a period of time, then she will be clear of all liability. Okay? All civil liability.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
And
that's what they do in court. And it's a syndrome. It's a syndrome. They classify the battered wife syndrome or whatever syndrome. And like I said, they get off or they get less time.
Right. And Kyle Rittenhouse was given the benefit of the doubt in his case. So why can't this young lady, if this young lady can prove that she was being sexually abused by this man over a period of time, that she cried, there was a guy in the video that I played. I might have to play that video again for people who came in the chat a little late to give you some perspective. It's only a minute and 5 minute, a minute long video, not even that long. But if she can prove that she was being abused by this man over a long period of time, and that she was also being raped, and she cried out for help and nobody helped, there's your civil liability. There's the ability to negate the criminal liability. Even if it's proven that the defendant committed the crime, she should be able to get off if her lawyers, but this is the thing, you need good lawyers to prove this, and she might only have a public, my God, as much as I hate to say this, she may only have a public defender, and they may not have the chops and the skills to navigate this court system in Wisconsin, because we know that Kyle Rittenhouse had some damn good lawyers.
Oh, he had the dream team. He had the judge. He had the jury.
Yeah, he had the jury. He had the prosecute. He had the defense team, and he had the judge wrapped all around his finger. And that is the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let me do this while I still have you up here, Sister Murray. And if anybody else wants to come up and give some thoughts before I end this, I've got to play this video one more time. It's not that long, because I think people need to really see this again, because there's people that came in a little bit late, and I appreciate you all being here, but y'all need to see this. I need to play this video one more time. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say, before you play that video, the sad thing is when, and not exposing myself, but I'm just telling you, I'm telling you facts right here. A lot of girls that are abused, they don't talk about it because they're trying to make sense of it. So things like this can happen in their early childhood going into their teens, and they would never speak on it until in their 20s or 30s, where their mind is able to process what had happened to them. Right. And so when you're dealing with a minor, and you've already said, they already said this guy was sex trafficking. That's why I'm like, I'm not really understanding this case at all. I mean, no therapy was offered instead of just giving her time.
Right. Let me just do this real quick for the purpose of people who have come in and they didn't see the video, and the purpose of also reinforcing the imagery of what's going on with this young lady for folks that have been here. I want everybody to look at this video one more time with a critical eye. Look at it with a third eye and listen to it with a third ear. And I want you to also notice how they had her in court in the suicide smock because that's an indication that something might have been going on with her mentally, stressed out. But it also, what kills me, Sister Murray, is that I can't find any video or news report on YouTube or off of YouTube, unless someone else has it out there, where Kyle Rittenhouse was brought into arraignment in some type of handcuffs and he had one of those jumpsuits on. You never saw that. They never gave you that image of him. That's very important because image is every damn thing, ladies and gentlemen. Everything. The fact. Just like when these white guys go out and do these mass, take the life of people, they don't rush to show you their picture as quickly as they will if it was a black individual, right? And then later on down the line, they'll eventually show you their picture. And then they'll say, hey, it was mental health. Think about every person who went out there, white person who went out there and did those type of crimes. And the first thing that the media says, mental health issues, right? And they go over the person's mental health background and all of that. This young lady, I can't find a report where they've talked about those kind of things about her in that way. It's interesting to me. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, can you find a video where Kyle Rittenhouse was brought into court before he got his bail from the off-right or all those groups in court in this fashion? And here we go.
I believe the $1 million cash fine is appropriate.
12 News was there in court when $1 million bail was set for Chrystul Kizer. The Milwaukee teen is charged with shooting, killing, and setting Randall Volar on fire at his Kenosha home last June. She was just 17 at the time.
And what do you think that people need to know about why he died?
The case now making national headlines, and in a jailhouse interview with the Washington Post, Kizer now alleges she killed Volar because he used her for sex trafficking. Supporters of Kizer say it was self-defense.
She had been trying to get out of the whatever arrangement that they had. And he was threatening to kill her.
In court last week, her attorney, a public defender, argued the murder falls under state law called affirmative defense, which acquits sex trafficking victims of certain crimes. But a judge disagreed, saying it only applies to prostitution or child trafficking cases.
You believe that she went there with a plan to kill Mr. Volar?
That's right.
From the start, Kenosha County District Attorney Mike Gravely says he's been pressured to drop all charges, but argues Volar's murder was premeditated and says she bragged about it after on social media.
And then during the course of the evening, she texts multiple people talking about how she is planning to do it, that she has Googled, and that it's going to create a splatter.
Volar's house here has since been torn down, but the district attorney says the day they found his body was the same day they were about to charge him with child sex crimes.
I mean, it's ridiculous that the police knew what was going on with Volar and allowed it to continue to...
If somebody commits crimes against you, even horrible crimes, that you aren't allowed to go and kill them in response.
There we have, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say something. Listening to that again, I picked out something. They said that when she went before the courts during that time back in 2018, that they didn't look at her as having a defense. They said the only way that they could not charge her is that she would have to be able to, they would have to prove that there was, that the defense that she's using would only be good for prostitution and sex trafficking. Well, wait a minute. He was sex trafficking her.
I was going to say that.
And if you're sex trafficking someone, wouldn't that be a form of prostitution? Come on, folks. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. And let me read something from 1SP. 1SP, thank you for being here, brother. Let me give you a clap. Thank you for being in the house. Get your butt back over here more often, 1SP. 1SP says this: it seems like if we defend ourselves, then we also have to defend the building that the offense against us takes to get some kind of justice. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Yes.
Tell the truth.
And then we got my man over here, Mind's Eye. Thank you, Mind's Eye, for being here. Peace to you. And anybody that's come in that I might have missed. We got the Creed men. We got, Hello World. We got Hello World. Be the Difference Clothing. And I'm going to tell you right now, she's got a case here. This the defamation, the definition of the affirmative defense. This is a defense in which the defendant introduces evidence which, if found to be credible, which is what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse, will negate the criminal liability or civil liability, even if it's proven that the defendant committed the alleged act. Well, she did commit the alleged act, and she had a legitimate reason, because under their laws in Wisconsin and Kenosha, they said it has to be prostitution or sex trafficking. Well, she was being sex trafficked, and she was also raped at one point in time, or had been raped by this man. She was being sex trafficked for prostitution. So what are they talking about? What are they talking about? What are they talking about, Sister Murray?
And all this was done while she was a minor.
While she was a minor. They tell you and me, well, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse was a minor. He was in an environment where people were attacking him. He used the law and he got away with it with self-defense. So why can't she use the same law? This is why she's in appeal right now. But then you heard me read earlier, let me put this back up here, where they're already, see, when it comes to black people and we try to use the law in our favor, then they come up with all type of tricks and what have you. Let me see this right here.
Oh, like the social media trick, like
right.
She put it up on social media. And I'm like, okay, you know that social media gets hacked every day.
Right.
So were they able to, I'm just curious, another question. So were they able to know without reasonable doubt, without any type of reasonable doubt, that she put this on social media and it was her, not somebody that cloned her account?
That hasn't been proven out. But what you heard with you had the white guy that was on there near the end, who was saying that she was trying to get out of the situation and he threatened her life, and people weren't listening. This kind of thing goes on all the time, folks, where people cries for help go unheard and unsubstantiated. Let me read this again. I read this earlier, but it has to be emphasized, especially for people that came in a little late. Kizer is her name, Chrystul Kizer, may be able to use the defense according to Kenosha News, and state Supreme Court is now reviewing that decision. The particular self-defense argument that they're using for her case has never been used before in Wisconsin. I'm asking this question. Why is it that when a young black male, or in this case, a young black lady who was a 17-year-old teenager, when black people decide to exercise their right under the law in this country, all of a sudden everybody's telling us it's never been used before. It's never been done before. Oh, this is unprecedented. When it comes to us, it's unprecedented. When they do it, it's the law. You see the bull, you see the hypocrisy? So that's why I don't want to hear anybody on YouTube, anybody talking this BS about, well, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse got off because of the law, and if the same thing happened to us, we'll be treated the same way under the law. No, we're not. We're treated differently. Matter of fact, when we try to exercise some of the same laws, they got to say, hey, you're doing something totally different. We've never seen this before. Let's look this one up. Oh, you're trying to use affirmative defense? How could it never? Look, affirmative defense is part of the law. So she's exercising the law.
And obviously there were other situations that had happened of that nature. That's how that law came to be. So
right.
For all the people that was like, oh, we never heard of this law. It's never, well, obviously in order to, you create laws in theory, because something is going on and it's causing some form of destruction to society. So it starts out as a suggestion, then it's a bill, and then it goes through the process and it becomes a law. So obviously this was happening before. That's how it became a law. Right. And then, I want to just go piggyback on what I said last time when I was on the panel. We also have to be mindful that we're asking our oppressors who have oppressed us ever since they got over here, we're asking them for justice, knowing that they're oppressing us. So the fight is always going to be harder. And don't be surprised when you have situations like this, that a minor is held on $1 million bill as a minor for being a victim of sex trafficking and rape. And the only thing they can come up with is the fact that she put it on social media, that she texted her friends about it.
Well, what they're trying to do, they're trying to say that what they're trying to do, sisters, they're trying to say that it was premeditated. So because she planned it and she talked about it. Now, this is the thing. That's just
not the whole.
Go ahead.
Not the whole
Go ahead.
information, man.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to cut you short, but if this is replaying in her mind, then okay, if it was premeditated, okay, let's think about this. She was going through a horrific situation. A lot of people can they could put it in the back of their memory. I couldn't get that word.
I'm losing it. Carpenum. Never mind. I'm tongue tied tonight.
Compartmentalized.
Yeah, compartmentalized. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, they're able to put it over here and still move on with their life and do things over here. Totally get it.
But a lot of people are not able to do that. So it's replaying in their head constantly. So it's like it gets to that point where, you know what, I'm tired of this. It's consuming me. So I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you how it is for some people. Right. Okay, I'm tired of being captured in this moment of time where I was violated. So I'm gonna handle business. Right. I mean, and we have cases of this. Cases.
I can tell you for a fact, because I know that oftentimes in general, when women take the life of their assailant, you know, the person that's abusing them, whether it be a husband, a boyfriend, as I had said earlier, or someone of this nature, 9 out of 10 times, usually the women sometimes will go to prison. And if it's black women, it's 2 times more. You're going to go to prison, because there are a lot of women that are in prison, particularly black women and white women as well, who actually took the lives of their husbands or what have you. Then you find out that the husband was seriously abusing them and they were crying out for help, didn't get help. They reported to the police. The police would never really do anything serious. And then of course, we know that there is, what do you call that? When a person, there's a syndrome when a person identifies with their abuser, right? Stockholm syndrome. And this happens to anybody, where you begin to identify with the person that's abusing you. People don't laugh at that. That stuff is really real. All right. This is really real. It happens. I know it happens. Kind of work I do. I see it all the time. People will identify with their abuser. We see it in families with husbands and girlfriends and boyfriends. And we see it with family members that are abusive to their other family members and friends. People will identify with that person and take the abuse and identify with that person and continue on. We see it in relationships where women will keep taking men back that are abusing them. And I've always said to myself, why do some women always do that? But I understand there's a psychological damage there, because people that abuse you, they always around the corner tell you, if you ever leave me or tell somebody, I'm going to take your life. Right? I'm going to do something serious to you.
And I pray that for people who've never been abused in their life, especially on a physical, psychological, and emotional level, you never had to deal with this side. So it's easy for those people to say, go get help or whatever, but it's not always that easy. And here's another question I have to ask. See, now the questions are flowing. Was she ever given a psychological exam as a minor?
Well, let me just say this. Because she had I know this for a fact, because they had her in that you notice when she was in the video and in the pictures that I shown, when she was in court, she didn't have the regular orange or whatever suit that they have them in. She had the green, we call it a suicide smock.
Yeah.
So that means for her to be, I know for her to have been put in that suicide smock, that means normally when they put you in that, it's because you've been evaluated by a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and you might have said, I feel suicidal and hopeless, or they may feel that you're at risk to do something to yourself. So they strip you out of whatever belongings you have in the cell and they put you in that smock. So there's a chance that mentally she might have been going through some serious stuff, and they might have had her on a suicide watch. What is a suicide watch? They'll have a nurse or a nurse's aide or someone of a medical background who will set 1-to-1 on a cell. Why do I know this? Because this goes on at my place of employment all the time, where I may go down, we call it a tier. I go down that tier and I'm talking to a guy at the door who's struggling, and I might be saying to him, what's going on? And he tells me something, and then I got to go report that to the nurse, to the doctor, and then we got to bring this individual out of their cell to have a intervention to figure out what they're going to do. And they may say, I'm about to do A, B, and C. They may say, I'm going to cut myself. I'm going to do this and that. And then we may tell them, because you said what you said, we may have to strip you out. You may even need emergency meds to take the edge off. These sort of things happen. So to make a long story short, I believe
another question.
that she was in that smock because she has some serious psychological stress going on. Go ahead, sister.
I have another question because, like, in my profession, I know exactly what you're talking about. Here's the thing. You can appear suicidal. You can make statements, and you can actively try to self-harm yourself or try to kill yourself. My question is, was she thoroughly evaluated? Why did you kill this person? What happened? What was the circumstances?
Right.
Was she given that type of assessment? And if she was, why wasn't? See, like I said, I don't know the case, and
keep this in mind. All of that, I would think that the defense team for her, if they are good lawyers, and that's the problem. Do she have good lawyers? Any lawyer worth their salt and gold would use that to the defense of this young lady and say that this young lady, because of the abuse and the rape, has been impacted mentally, emotionally. So therefore, you can make the argument, was she in her right mind when she did what she did? Was it due to the distress and the abuse from this individual? That would have to come out in a psychological report.
Fact.
Which means, and this is the thing, we wouldn't know that because under HIPAA laws, you can't report a person's medical treatment like that until it comes out in court and it becomes public record in court. So if the defense team uses that as part of her affirmative defense as another example of what drove her to do what she did, then there's a possibility here. But what I'm saying to you right now, we may not know about all those details because technically under HIPAA law, you can't disclose a person's medical issues unless it comes out publicly in the court of law, because the defense team uses it as a strategy to get her out of this situation. Let me read what Angelica is saying right here. She says, and also the CSP course, where is a black woman stands up against CSP child protective custody, CSP, and does not willingly relinquish her rights. They target her and will take any child for the rest of her natural life. And very good point.
And that's the whole thing about it. Like, while she's going through appeals or whatever, she's still locked up, and she is still caught in that psychological hell of everything that has happened to her.
Right. This is what I know. This is what we know. We know in the year 2020, she got a bond hearing. She got bonded for the $400,000. So if I'm not mistaken, she is awaiting her appeal. So she was able to get out. She was in there from 2018 to 2020 because she didn't have the money. She didn't have the resources, right? A group of people that were advocates raised money in her behalf because they believe that she's innocent, that they believe that she did what she did because of the abuse that she went through. As a result of that high ass bail that they gave her, of course, she was able to get out. Now, far as I know, because in that video you saw her talking by phone, but she wasn't like didn't look like she was in a prison. So she's under appeal. If she does not win that appeal, then she's going right back. This time they're going to process her for prison, for a woman's prison. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I know this from fact. People think that men's prisons are dangerous. Yes, they are. But women's prisons are even more dangerous. That's a fact.
Yeah.
They are just as dangerous, if not more dangerous. Don't sleep on that fact. So she's gonna be put in a situation. Sometimes when people in these environments start to hit their head on those hard concrete walls in a prison cell, sometimes they will put you in what we call a rubber room so that you don't become a danger to yourself. And it's called a 5150, ladies and gentlemen, when you become a danger to yourself and a danger to others. And in the prison system, I know in California, we have something called a CAHIA. Well, we don't call it CAHIA anymore. It's involuntary medications where the psychiatrist will go to a court to put you on involuntary medications because you are seen as a danger to yourself and maybe a danger to others. So let me just say this to you too, Sister Murray, before you do leave the panel tonight. In terms of her social media, in that video, you heard I guess the prosecution saying that, I guess he's a lawyer. I don't know if it's true that she used her social media to say that she was going to go after this guy. I haven't seen that evidence. Maybe that's the evidence.
Then why are you saying that was the basis of establishing
right?
Premeditated?
Maybe this came out in court. Maybe it came out in her court when she went to her arraignment, and then they put up her bail at $400,000. Maybe that came out in court that she did this on her social media, and that's why that guy was saying that in that video. But I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so we don't know. But I'm sure I'm going to keep my eyes on this case, because these are the cases that run below the radar, ladies and gentlemen, when we're looking at these bigger cases that get the attention of the Al Sharptons and the Benjamin Crumps and all these individuals, right? But it's these cases that fall below the radar that we never really hear much about. And this is how young ladies like her and young men that find themselves in these situations where they had to defend themselves, black men, they'll end up going to jail because they don't have any big time lawyers following their case. They don't have any big time advocates out there on CNN and MSNBC and able to get all the damn cameras and be able to say, we want justice for her, right? Ain't nobody saying that. Nobody. I haven't heard anybody say we want justice for her.
Like I said, I didn't even know about this case until you brought it up. That's sad.
And this is a reminder to everybody. This case it happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This is what makes it very unique, because it's the same place where Kyle Rittenhouse was able to get his justice under their laws to get out of going to prison for the rest of his life for killing two people. This young lady killed one person that was abusing her over a period of years. Kyle Rittenhouse felt his life in danger in a time and moment. This young lady was having her life abused over a period of years, they said. So I want to see, can she get the same justice under the affirmative defense? And I'm telling you right now, as much as I hate to say this again, let's go to the poll that everyone took tonight. And so far, I said, will she get the same justice like Kyle Rittenhouse? 19% of you said yes. 81% of you said,
tell the truth.
Said no. Said no. Out of the folks that voted, there was 125 people that voted in this poll tonight, 125, 81% of you said no, and 19% of you said that she will. I believe that it is my thoughts, not my legal thoughts. I'm not a lawyer, and none of us are here. I don't think they're going to give it to her, given the history of what happens to black people in this injustice system. And because they're already saying that we've never done anything like this before. And see, it has to be about her being prostituted.
Yes, she has. That's why you got the law. So
that's why you got the law.
That's why you got the law established. I'm going to drop down, and I do want to say out of fairness that I don't like, my friends are not exclusively of my community. I do have white friends that are in the criminal justice system, and they work tirelessly defending our people. You know, so you do have white people out there that see the BS for what it is.
Right. And let me say this. Go ahead.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's still, even though they know, like the people that I'm tight with, they know that even though they're of that complexion or whatever, they will say, listen, I defend your community, but I'm never gonna know what it's like because I'm white. And for those friends, I do want to give a shout out to, like, I do want to give that shout out because, like I said, I do have friends in the justice system, they're attorneys, and they are white, that they spend all of their days and nights trying to be that difference that we're seeking. So, however, like I said, it goes back to what I said before. We're asking the oppressor for justice from the same people that oppresses us. So it's not a shock to me when things like this happens. It's sad and unfortunate, and we could still do our parts by having broadcasts like this, spreading the word.
Right. Let me say this
in the whole 9 yards.
Okay, let me just say this right here. From what I could see so far, and I'm not going to say there's not black folks out there that have gotten involved in her situation. From what I can see so far, it looks like there were white people that were advocating, or there are white people that are advocating for her to, that were out there involved in the money that they were raising for her to be bonded out of jail. And there probably were black people out there too that were involved. I'm not going to sit up here and say there weren't any black people that were involved, because I just don't know. But who knows who was donating what money behind the scenes to help this young lady get out of jail so that she can also rest in a better situation to work on her case. I want everybody, again, to keep up with the case. I'm going to keep up with this case and see what happens. And whatever happens, I'm going to bring it to you here. I believe that if she doesn't have, I believe this. If there are not many prominent people, black people in particular, who take an interest in her case, and if we don't put it out there as well, things may not go in her favor. She needs, as much as, we talk about Benjamin Crump being kind of goofy and the Al Sharptons and all of this kind of stuff, but the truth of the matter is, as much as it irks me to say this,
they haven't said nothing yet about it.
She actually needs these type of individuals, because those individuals, whether we like them or not, they can bring more eyeballs to her case because they got these national platforms, right? They can get on television and CNN, MSNBC. They got big radio shows and all this kind of stuff. So they can bullhorn and galvanize the audience. I gotta be honest, as much as I have my issues with both of these characters, we can't deny that they have the ability to galvanize the audience when they talk about a case. I would hope that she could get someone or someone's like that, for the simple fact that they can galvanize more attention to her case. So far, I haven't seen that so far.
I haven't heard it. No, they're too big. The Crumps and the Candace Owens, they're too busy saying that we cause our own problems as in our nature.
Look. the hell with Candace Owens? We cannot use Candace Owens as a barometer, because this is the same Candace Owens that damn near said that Ahmaud Arbery was the blame for what happened to him. So this is the same buck dancer who got up there and threw a young man under the bus. She continues to say horrible things about black people, horrible things. And we know why she's doing this. She's doing it to grab the bag. And she's just like all the rest of them. Jesse Lee Peterson, all the rest. I have no room for these type of black folks. But with that said, thank you for coming upstairs and joining me tonight. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, sister. Here's a clap for you. Come on back for some more when I go live again. I appreciate you most definitely.
Later, info man.
All right, later. There it is. That is Sister Murray came up, joined me. I'm glad she did for this discussion. And let me see who else we got coming in here before I end the program tonight. We got a view for the view. Hey, sister, what's going on? Make sure you check her out too. Got a great channel over there. We got Mickey Bricks 2.0 from the UK. All right.
Information
is power. Thank you for being here. And we got Brown Girl in the house. Brown Girl, Brown Girl. What's going on? All right. Welcome. And Sister Stanford, who discovered my channel just a week ago. Thank you for coming over. She was in the Facebook streets, and then she came over from the Facebook streets over to the YouTube streets to come into the chat room and greet everybody. She says, like I said, hundreds of us going missing every day and nothing is said. Yeah, I did a video about this while everybody was worried about the Patea Gavi case. And she got millions of people that were interested in where she was at. No one cares about what happens to black people who are missing. If you get a chance, check out the documentary I was talking about on HBO. If you got HBO or you got HBO Max or whatever they call it, here I am giving them an advertisement. They should be paying me. They have a documentary specifically talking about the problem with black people who have gone missing. Let me put this link in the chat room a couple of times. We got Erica in the house. Let me highlight Erica. What's going on? What's going on? Thank you, sister, for being over here. Let me give you a clap. And what I put in the chat room is a single link that will lead you to a lot of the social medias that I'm on. I'm specifically calling to action tonight that you definitely follow me on Clubhouse, so that we can start having discussions over there with the mods and the people that follow that support the channel. I want to start having Clubhouse discussions with you, after parties as I call them, after discussions or discussions throughout the week leading up to me going live. It'd be nice to be able to go live on Clubhouse, a couple of times out of the week or whenever it's possible, and to talk to people prior to going live and doing these kind of programs and things of that nature. So I hope that you got something out of this tonight. I hope it was helpful. I hope I definitely was informative to everyone tonight about what's going on in this society. And I had to bring it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there is clearly a difference how we are treated in the law. They say that the law is blind. No, it is not blind. I'm sorry. No. I don't believe that the color of law or law is color blind. I do not. It is obvious to me that there's a difference in treatment when it comes to our white counterparts versus black people. It's been that way historically. And it's just about being aware that when we are up against this system, it sometimes may not work in our way. Now, if you got a lot of money like OJ, you got that money, you can possibly beat some of these cases. Why? Because you can get the best lawyers who are movers and shakers. It can get the best forensic experts in there, the best all types of experts. That's how it is sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you all for coming over again. Once again, the vote tonight for whether she would get the same justice as Kyle got for self-defense. 20% of you said yes. And 80% of you said no. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Take care. Thank you all. This is the Information Man Show. I'll be back hopefully this upcoming weekend, Sunday. And if anything breaks, any story breaks, anything unusual, any follow-up I get on this story or anything that breaks, and if I can go live like I did tonight during the week, I will. I think I like the idea of going live on Wednesday nights as giving you a night show and leading up to Sunday. I think that might be a good thing for me to start doing. I don't know. You can let me know if you like, if you think that'd be great to continue these night streams around the time like I went. With that said, I'm out of here. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Peace. Peace, everybody.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
I appreciate everybody in that chat.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
The Information Man Show.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
We got the queen in the house who came in. I see you, sister. Thank you for coming over, the queen. Everybody, I appreciate you. Joy, everybody that's come over, King Wage, it's your girl, too. Everybody who's come in. Cat PY2, I see you, brother. You're in the house. Yvette's in the house, W. She says, I don't know the whole story, plus I'm late. If she is a rape victim for years, do you blame her? Also, let's reverse it. If she were white and he was a black man, would she be in jail? I would say no. You're telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
I agree with the statement that you just wrote there wholeheartedly. We got brother Sertus in the house. We got Natural in the house. Let me say peace to her. And we've got... let's see. We got who do we have coming in right now? Patrice Time. The Time is in the house. What's going on, sister? Saying hey to everyone. Make sure if you came in late, please make sure that you watch the replay because a lot of important details was in the beginning of this. And in my commentary, I feel you will find my commentary hopefully on point. So with that said, everybody, take care of yourself tonight. Take care, everybody. Peace.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
Information Man Show. If you could, to everyone, don't forget to share the video in your social media with your friends, family members, and your community tab if you are a content creator. We got Allison McGrill in the house. Thank you for coming over here, Allison. Thank you. Davis brings up a good point here.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Have a good night, everybody. Peace.